Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. This is video number 4 for chapter number 6. Okay, we will continue with the record accessibilities, or we call as a record activity. Right, like I mentioned in previous video, we have three phases in the record accessibility or record activities. It should begin with the active records. When we talk about active record, at which we will access the record either 3 or more times in a month, and because of the accessibility is very high, so we need to keep the record which near to the user. For example, like in our current workstation. Okay, and the second one is inactive record, at which you are going to access less than 15 times a year. Okay, less than 15 times a year. So because of that, okay, you are not every time accessing the record, so you will keep or you will store the record in the less expensive area. Okay, usually we will put in the storeroom, okay, or we call as a record center in our terms. And lastly, okay, for the archives records or the long-term records, usually we keep them because of they have their continuing or they have the historical value. Okay, at which we cannot simply destroy the record. So what we need to do, we need to keep all these archives records, okay, in the less expensive area, and usually we will keep at the offsite. Okay, offsite maksudnya sama dia tidak berada di current pejabat. Okay, mungkin dia berada dalam storeroom ataupun dia ada tempat khas memang kita sewa ataupun kita miliki, alright, untuk simpan rekod tersebut. Dan somehow kita tak boleh simpan, kita kena hantar kepada arsip negara. So it will depend on the situations or the characteristic of the record itself. Alright. And here, record retention schedules. We talk about retention again and again. Okay, after we have just now, we do the inventory. Okay, we need to, after we have done for the inventory analysis, we know, and it will help the information that we gather in the inventory analysis will help us to prepare for the retention schedules. And now here the question is, what is the retention schedule? The retention schedule is actually the comprehensive list of the records. Okay, at which the listing of the records, okay, comprehensive macam ada list of the records, scenario record, which indicate the length of the times record are to be maintained. Okay, dia akan ada, okay, berapa lama, okay, record, sekian record, berapa lama kita kena simpan. Sekian record, berapa lama kita kena simpan. Not only that, it also will have the information regarding on the transferring inactive record to the storage. Okay, bila kita dah berapa lama simpan dan bila kita akan simpan dekat inactive record storage. Dan lastly, we need to know the information regarding on when to destroy. Okay, with the short-term value. So those record, okay, when we talk about retention schedule, dia adalah schedule berkaitan dengan senarai record yang ada dalam company you, dan dalam masa yang sama dalam senarai itu akan ada maklumat berkaitan dengan berapa lama record you akan simpan dan bila you akan transfer kepada inactive storage ataupun storeroom, dan bila you akan destroy the record. Yang record, especially record yang mempunyai short term value. Alright, and why we need to have this kind of retention schedule dekat dalam company kita? Kenapa kita kena ada jadual penyimpanan? Okay, ini simpan berapa lama, lepas tu bila nak transfer dekat inactive record, dan bila nak macam mana dan bila nak destroy. Kenapa kita kena ada all this? Because it will help us to reduce the storage cost. Okay, by having this kind of the information, kita akan bantu company kita untuk menguruskan penyimpanan record, yang mana record dah capai dah retention period dia, dah boleh musnahkan, kita musnahkan. So adalah available space untuk record yang baru. So this will help to reduce the cost and also will help you to faster retrieval of the record. Okay, and transferring and destroying a record at a regularly schedule intervals will eliminate the clutter and also the shortens retrieval time. Maksud dia, kalau kita record ni, okey, boleh simpan berapa lama dekat active record. So, dia akan kena transfer dekat inactive record. Sebab apa? Kita nak kurangkan record-record yang tak berapa guna ke dalam inactive record. So, yang ada dekat active record storage, okey, adalah record-record yang aktif dan kita mudah untuk buat retrieval. Dan dia akan mengurangkan masa dan memendekkan masa untuk kita mencari record tersebut. Okey, and record retention and the destruction timetables are based on the information contained in the record and not on the media itself, which is include electronic, optical, micro records along with the paper record. Okay, maksud di sini, bila kita sebut record retention dengan destruction timetable, maksudnya jadual penyimpanan record dan juga jadual pemusnahan record ni sebenarnya dia adalah berdasarkan informasi yang kita dapat masa kita buat inventory analysis. Okay, bukan dia melihat kepada media itself. Okay, not on the media itself. Apa media itself? Contohnya, maksud dia kita bukan lihat kepada rupa paras record tersebut. Kita tengok, oh ni dah lusuh, kena buang. Oh yang ni lawa lagi, cantik lagi kulit dia. Oh kita kena simpan. No. It's not about that. Sebab tu dia adalah bergantung kepada information yang kita dapat masa kita buat analysis. It's not about on the media itself. Tak how record tu cantik je. Sebab apa? Kita jarang guna. So, bila kita jarang guna, maksudnya somehow kita kena buang. Kita dah tak guna kegunaan. Tapi ada setengah record tu nampak lusuh. Tapi kita frequently use. Dia jadi lusuh sebab apa? Kita selalu guna record tu. Tapi ada juga record yang lusuh sebab apa? Dah lama simpan dan tak ada kegunaan. So, that's why untuk tahu sama ada whether it's the retention period is long, okay, whether you want to destroy or not, you need to look into the information that you gather during the inventory analysis. Okay, so you might refer to the textbook on page 116. Okay, this is the examples. Okay, record retention schedule. Okay, they have this is record series. Okay, record berkaitan dengan accounting and fiscal. They divide into several file. Okay, under accounting and fiscal, we have the accounts payable invoice record, we have accounts payable ledgers, and etc. So each of these under accounting and fiscal affairs, okay, they akan ada years active, year inactive, and also the total retention in the company. Okay, so for example here we have they will be 3 years in active storage and 3 years in active storage. So all together the retention period 6 tahun kita simpan dalam company tu. Okay, tetapi as you can see here, they have a P permanent and terms at termination. Okay, P maksud dia kalau you nampak dekat sini, our annual audit report dia tulis P. Sebab apa? P maksud dia dekat aktif 3 tahun. Tapi selepas 3 tahun you tak akan musnahkan record tu. It will become a permanently. Retention period dia is permanently. Okay, while the T is actually terms. Okay, termination. Okay, maksudnya record tu memang you dah tak simpan, buang terus. So kat sini tak adalah dinyatakan. Alright, in the next class, which is tomorrow, I will cover for the record retrieval, inshallah. Okay, so I hope that for today lessons, okay, you have the informations and you understand about the lesson. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.